Let's take a breath together. Let the noise fade. Let the hurry soften. Imagine you are sitting at the feet of Jesus, the teacher who saw greatness in the smallest things. He speaks, not with thunder, but with stories that slip quietly into the heart, stories that change everything. He looks at those gathered close, eyes shining with kindness and mystery, and he begins. The kingdom of God, he says, is like a mustard seed. Picture it in your hand, a single speck, barely more than a whisper, a fleck of dust. It seems almost nothing, smaller than any other seed you've held. It could easily be lost between your fingers or swept away by the wind. But this little seed carries a secret. It is not finished. It is only beginning. Someone bends to the earth and presses the seed into the dirt, covering it gently, almost as if tucking it in for a long sleep. Days pass, maybe weeks. Nothing shows on the surface. It is quiet. It is hidden. Yet beneath the soil, something stirs. Soft roots reach down. A pale shoot presses upward, searching for the light. Time moves on. The seed does not remain small. It stretches and grows, quietly, faithfully, without any applause. The green shoot becomes a slender stem. The stem thickens, branches spread, leaves unfurl. What was once invisible becomes impossible to ignore. The mustard seed grows into a great tree, strong and full of life, its branches reaching wide. Soon, birds come from far and near. They perch in its shade, safe and sheltered in its arms. The tree offers rest, a home for wings weary from flight. What began as almost nothing, a thing so small it could be missed, has become a place of refuge and hope. Jesus looks into the eyes of those listening, and into your eyes too. He leaves the story there, letting the wonder hang gently in the air. So, pause and let this mystery rest with you. What if what seems small in your life is actually the beginning of something greater? Jesus often chose the smallest things to speak about the greatest mysteries. He did not point to tall mountains or vast seas when describing the kingdom. Instead, he held a tiny seed between his fingers, a mustard seed, barely visible, almost forgettable. Perhaps he knew how familiar we are with smallness, how we sometimes measure our worth by what is grand and obvious, and overlook the quiet beginnings of things that matter most. Have you ever wondered if your faith is too small, too fragile to change anything? Maybe you have whispered prayers that feel lost in the air, or carried hopes so delicate that you hesitate to name them out loud. There are days when your heart aches with longing, and the dreams you once cherished seem to have shrunk beneath the weight of waiting. The world around you prizes the big, the bold, the certain. Yet, within you, there may be only a flicker, a seed. What if the story of the mustard seed is not just about ancient fields and a farmer's hands, but about the hidden corners of your own soul? What if what you carry, the quiet belief, the faint hope, the first step you barely dared to take, is not the end of the story, but its fragile beginning? Have you ever looked at what you have and thought, this is too small to matter? Have you ever measured your progress and felt only disappointment, as if the little you offer could never be enough? There is a strange tension in loving something small. It is easy to dismiss, to overlook, or to doubt. The seed in your hand does not look like a tree. The hope in your heart does not feel like certainty. The faith you cling to seems too slight for the storms you face. And yet, here you are holding on, waiting, wondering. Can you remember a time when you almost gave up because nothing seemed to be growing? Do you find yourself longing for reassurance, for proof that what you're nurturing will one day take root? Maybe you are tired of beginnings. Maybe you wish you could skip to the part where everything makes sense and the tree stands tall. But for now, all you have is a seed. What does it mean to trust that what feels insignificant could become something beautiful? What would it look like to honor the smallness in your life, instead of rushing past it or hiding it away? Could it be that your most honest questions, your quietest prayers, your smallest acts of faith are already part of story unfolding, one you cannot yet see? You are invited to pause in this in-between, to linger with the discomfort of what is not yet. Let yourself feel the longing, the hope, the uncertainty. Let yourself wonder what might grow from what you almost overlooked. The story is not finished. The seed is still in your hand. Waiting is never easy. The days can feel long, and the silence around your small beginnings can seem almost deafening. You wonder if your faith is too fragile, your hope too thin, your first steps too hesitant to make any difference at all. Yet this is the holy paradox. The greater story often starts beneath the surface, far from the applause of the world, in places where only God sees. Seeds grow in silence. There is no fanfare as roots push downward, no spotlight on the slow, hidden work that prepares a plant for what is to come. Even as you wait, even when you see nothing happening, the deepest transformation is taking place underground. God is not in a hurry. He does his most faithful work in the quiet, in the darkness, in the places we cannot monitor or measure. Think of your faith as a mustard seed, small, almost invisible, easily dismissed. Yet, you hold in your hands the beginning of something astonishing. Your part is not to force the tree to grow, but to tend the seed with gentle persistence. Water your faith with moments of honest prayer, even if your words are few. Keep the soil of your heart clean by clearing out distractions, doubts, or the noise of comparison. Protect your seed from the chilly winds of lies or impatience that whisper, "Nothing is happening, you're wasting your hope," or "It's too late for you." Every garden has its seasons of invisibility. The roots must come before the fruit. And God, who planted the seed in you, is still at work, even when you cannot see or feel it. Trust that he has not forgotten you. Trust that what seems insignificant in his hands becomes mighty. Trust that the tree will grow, even if today you see only a speck of green or perhaps nothing at all. You are not called to measure your progress by what is visible, but to rest in the process, knowing that growth is more mysterious and sacred than you can imagine. When you choose to nurture your seed and stay close to the gardener, you are participating in a miracle that unfolds quietly, steadily, and unfailingly. Do not despise these days of small beginnings. What feels like waiting is actually preparing. What seems silent is quietly alive. What appears fragile is already rooted in promise. You may not see it yet, but the tree is already growing. One day, you will look back and realize that the miracle began in these hidden moments, where you dare to trust the small and believe in what is yet to come. Father, thank you for planting your word deep within me. Thank you for seeing the worth in the smallest beginnings, for noticing even the tiniest seed of faith in my heart. I am grateful that you never overlook what feels insignificant or fragile, and that you're always close, even when I cannot see the movement of growth. Thank you for the gentle way you water my soul with your presence, for the sunlight of your love that warms me in hidden places. Thank you for believing that something good can grow from the bare soil of my life. Yet, Lord, sometimes I feel so small. Sometimes my faith feels more like a speck of dust than a living seed. I confess that I have doubted. I have wondered if anything is really happening beneath the surface. There are days when impatience creeps in. I want to see leaves and branches, but all I see is emptiness. I admit that I have compared my journey to others, measuring my roots against their fruit, and I have felt discouraged when my growth seems invisible. I confess that I have feared being overlooked, forgotten, or left behind in the quiet seasons. I have questioned if my trust is enough, if my little efforts matter at all. Lord, I long to grow. I want my heart to be good soil, soft, open, ready for your rain. Make my spirit receptive to every small seed you plant. Teach me to treasure the beginnings that seem too tiny to matter. Help me to cherish the silent seasons when nothing appears to change, believing that your hands are gently tending to the roots I cannot see. Give me patience to wait for your timing, not mine. Make me faithful in watering the seed with prayer and hope, even when I feel dry and discouraged. I ask for courage, Lord, the courage to believe in what is unseen, to trust the mystery beneath the surface, to keep tending to my faith when nothing seems to be happening. Give me eyes to see the slow miracle of roots growing deep. Let your Spirit be the rain that nourishes, the light that calls me upward, the warmth that draws me out of hiding. Help me not to give up on the process, not to despise the days of small beginnings.